Alright, episode 5 of Peacemaker Season 2 is out on HBO Max. And what is it with all them having weird, lame-ass puns in their titles? In any case, now I talk about this episode with spoilers, so that is of course your spoiler warning. If you have not yet watched this episode and you're planning on it, best to steer away from this video because I will be talking about what happens in this episode in detail. If you have seen it or you don't care, then you're good to stick around. And this episode had a lot going on. For the shortest one yet, there's a lot to unpack, so let's get started. So our flashback in this episode is 3 years ago. It's Rick Flag Jr.'s funeral, so starting off on a chipper note, I see. And it's where Harcourt and Rick Flag Sr. get to talking. Basically, I guess where they become friends. Solid character setup, nothing more. So last week, we left off where Harcourt is luring Peacemaker into Argus's trap. Rick Flag Sr.'s finally gonna get him. Although it's funny, we find out that when they were texting, she used the word copacetic. Apparently that was the code word for, hey, don't come, it's a trap. It's a trap! So she did warn him, but Chris came anyway. And it's really funny, when he shows up, he knew he was being targeted by a sniper, so he's dodging and blending in with the crowd in really funny ways. I laughed. Like petting the dogs, playing soccer with the kids. That made me smile. So he sits down with Harcourt, who, God, she is not happy with him. Basically confirming for him that, yeah, she's not the one. The other Harcourt is better. She's like, you got no chance, man. You are fucked. You are so fucked. Our fling on the boat meant nothing to me, dude. I was drunk. So Argus does indeed get the drop on him. And this came out of nowhere. When Sasha Bordeaux came up and her eye started doing like the computer machine thing, I was like, what? Hello? Sasha Bordeaux? What is this? Johnny Economos explains it later. I'll explain it now. Apparently she is part cyborg. She was in a plane crash and fixed up. I was like, what? Great job for the marketing for not spoiling that about her, because I had no idea. However, that does get me to thinking about Sasha Bordeaux here, the cyborg. The fact that she's described as, well, a cyborg. This being the DC universe at all, I can't help but think of, well, the DC character Cyborg. I'm sure she's not related to that character, as far as we know anyway. I don't know, anything's possible in this new franchise. I'm just saying Cyborg is kind of a unique title in the DC universe, and it just made me think of it. But she does have her gun drawn on Peacemaker. She could kill him, and I'm pretty sure she was about to fire when Harcourt goes in and incapacitates him instead. She just knocks him out, and so he is brought in, but that does piss off Sasha Bordeaux. The two ladies do have a little confrontation. I was like, whoa, claws are out. Harcourt's like, there was no order, bitch. You better back the fuck off. I was like, damn, there's gonna be some beef there for the rest of the series run. Also, I love the fact that when Peacemaker's being brought in, he's walking by Johnny Economos. He's like, sup, John? I was like, oh, the passive aggression. I get it. And so we come to the confrontation between Rick Flag Sr. and Christopher Smith, the Peacemaker. This, you know, I've been looking forward to this. Cause really it's just gonna be Rick Flag Sr. just beating the shit out of Peacemaker. Just beating the living, ever-loving fuck out of him. Like, it's funny, he claims that his whole crusade is really for the betterment of the world cause he's really going after the dimensional rift.
See, now that's some bullshit.
Yeah, that BS is so easy to see through, it's transparent. This is clearly solely about revenge, nothing else. I mean, I can't even blame him. Hello, the guy killed his son. What would you do in Rick Flag Sr.'s shoes? Almost kind of makes me wonder, why are we rooting for Peacemaker again? Oh, right, the whole any soul can be redeemed thing. Because I still believe that's true for the most part. I do believe it in Peacemaker's case. So Johnny Economos does the right thing and just puts Chris Smith in the books. And Argus just chooses to let Chris Smith go then. So he goes with the crew, and they drive off, but they're tailed by Judo Master. Man, that Rick Flag Sr.'s always got a backup plan. Smart guy. That's Frank Grillo. I will say at this point, when we're in the car with Chris and Adebayo and Adrian Chase in the back, the way Adrian Chase is just compromising the drama of the scene because that's what he's been doing this entire season. Seriously, he's still my least favorite character in this whole thing. In this scene in particular, I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're killing the moment. You're dumb. You remind me of Joey Tribbiani from Friends. Then we get to the scene with Red Saint Wild and Eagly. This scene kind of blew up on Twitter because Red Saint Wild is still hunting the bird, but Eagly gets the drop on him. Apparently he is this big primal eagle figure. He calls in this whole flock of hawks and eagles, and this whole flame design shows up behind him. I was like, oh my god. I saw a tweet that said, yeah, it's official. Eagly now has more aura than Crypto. I was like, yeah. He does, cause holy shit. And so Red Saint Wild is killed from this flock of birds just pecking at him. It's Murderer Crows from Bioshock Infinite. It's kind of awesome. What a way to go. But then it makes me wonder, what was the whole point of Red Saint Wild even being in the show? I don't know, he didn't really do much for the story. So I guess that character was kind of wasted. So Chris and Eagly, they get back to the cabin and they open up the portal. They're gonna leave for good. They're saying sayonara.
He's leaving.
Which again, I get why he's doing this. Things are just not working out for him in this world, man. Amelia Harcourt hates him. Rick Flag Sr. just beat the shit out of him because he murdered his son 3 years ago. And he's still not really seen as the hero he wishes he could be seen as. In the other world, he has everything he wants, supposedly. It's good enough for him for now anyway. So he decides to leave his friends, the 11th Street kids, behind. Although why did he leave that portal door open? Not really smart, because Judo Master does follow him in, so we'll have to see where that goes. But yeah, now we come to the emotional part, man. Because Chris left a note for his friends, along with the portal opening device. Yeah, it's pretty much his goodbye letter. And we come to the part where Adrian starts crying. I was like, oh my god. Okay, fine. Fuck, I feel bad for the guy, man. As much as he really annoys me as a character, his intentions... I mean, he always saw Chris Smith as his best friend, and he was always so optimistic about that, you know? Never a doubt in his mind that Chris Smith was his very best friend. So the fact that he is gone for the time being anyway, yeah, Adrian's gonna cry. I'm like, oh man, I feel bad for you, dude. I'm being dead ass too. I'm like, how can James Gunn make me dislike a character so much and then make me turn around and feel bad for him in the span of like 5 seconds? I mean, granted, after that, when his mood changes back, I'm like, okay, now I dislike you again. Because he's like, oh, maybe we'll meet another version of me there. I'm like, all right, now you're just the dumb, absent-minded child that you always have been. But in the crying scene, yeah, I feel bad for you, dude. I gotcha. But since Chris Smith did leave behind the portal opening device, Harcourt makes the decision. She's like, all right, guys, we're gonna go get him back. I like the fact that it's her who makes the decision, too. She who held so much hatred for him over these years, you gotta think now, maybe she actually doesn't hate him so much. I honestly couldn't tell you. I couldn't venture a guess as to how she really does feel about the guy. Your guess is really as good as mine. But the crew, the 11th Street kids, they go and they take off to go get him back. Johnny Economos, Leota Adebayo, Adrian Chase, and Amelia Harcourt, they're gonna do it somehow. And actually, this is funny. We see that now that Chris is back in the other world again, he and his brother and his father, the top trio, they go off to fight a kaiju we see on the news. It's the same kaiju from Superman. That was an awesome Easter egg. I wonder if it was sent by LexCorp in that world. Like, I can see Chris in the next episode being like, yeah, you would think Superman would have taken care of this. Where is he? I don't know. We'll see what happens. And this episode ends with Chris Smith coming back to Argus in this world, and he's gonna officially go for it with this Harcourt. So he has made his decision. And that's where this episode ends. I was like, wow, for 37 minutes, that was a lot of content. Good stuff. Good stuff for sure. Still digging this season, of course. We're coming up on the last episodes of this season, just 3 more to go. Can't wait to see what goes down in Act 3. It's gonna be huge. So, Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 5, Back to the Suture. Have you watched it yet? What are your thoughts on it? And what are your theories and or predictions for next week's episode and or the rest of the season if you got anything? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Now, if you'll excuse me, Babe and I gotta catch up on Alien Earth, because we've fallen way behind and it's wrapping up soon. So we're gonna get on that shit. Peace!